Yeah, George Santos. So here's a quick story about George Santos before we get into the fact that Trump pardoned him. So when George went on Cameo for the first time.
Oh yeah. That's an app where you can pay and a celebrity will record like a custom message for you.
Yes. And I saw it at 6 a.m. I just happened to be up. I just had a bad night sleeping or whatever. And I woke up and he announced it early. And I got a cameo of George Santos for my sister. Now, do I regret giving money to George Santos in any way? It was $75. Yeah, maybe I do, actually.
Well, look at it this way, Mike. That money almost certainly went to a good, honest, hardworking lawyer who was trying to defend him.
Or it just went straight to OnlyFans. But it was, I will say, it's like a very guilty pleasure of mine that I did this because yes, I know he's George Santos, but for my sister, I did it for her birthday was coming up or whatever, or was it Christmas? I can't remember. I have to look at the date, but he's basically like, "Hi, Katie. It's like, I hear you originally from NY3. You can come back to LA from there anytime," and all this stuff. And CNN that night, Erin Burnett, she's like, "People have been getting, and the price of the cameo has been going up." And then in the segment, in between things, it started with my sister. It was like, "Hi, Katie."
No.
Yes. I gotta find it in my text. But anyway,
series The Battlegrounds, and George Santos apparently has already found a new job.
Hi, Katie.
We are the news.
That's my George. Sorry, everybody. We'll get back to you.
So this is your fault, Nazis. Is what I'm hearing.
Yes. Yeah. I got a little irony pilled on George Santos, and I know everybody. I know everything. I know that he's probably a genocide denier, and he's certainly a fascist accomplice. And I know, and I'm sorry. I'm not a perfect person.
So George Santos reached a plea deal with prosecutors earlier this year, pleading guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. At the time, they asked if he would appeal to Trump for rescue in the form of a pardon. And George Santos said, "You bet your sweet ass I would."
That's the thing. That's why I can't cover this guy with the hard nose. It's just he's just like a big, he's like a talking bowl of Jello that says silly things.
And this dude was like a legit fraudster. I just copied and pasted a few things from different news stories I found. I'm just going to read some of the stuff that he has admitted to doing or been caught doing. He acknowledged using his campaign fundraising apparatus for personal gain and admitted to submitting false reports to the Federal Election Commission during his congressional run. Can't do that. He also admitted to stealing the personal identity and financial information of elderly and cognitively impaired campaign donors.
Oh my God. I mean, but it's just like he's just a con man. He's just a criminal.
Oh, I've got more here. He admitted to stealing from donors by persuading them to contribute money to a company that he claimed was a social welfare organization or super PAC, and then using their contributions to put himself up at the Venetian Hotel in Las Vegas, shop at Hermes, I think.
Yeah, let's go.
Louis Vuitton and Brooks Brothers, pay off his credit cards, and give himself thousands of dollars in cash.
He's like
no taste, by the way. I mean,
he's like a contestant on a VH1 reality show from the early aughts. You know what I'm talking about? Like he's like he's like one of the women from Flavor of Love.
I'm sure he'd take that as a compliment.
That's why he's so seductive to me, because he would take that as a compliment. He's just like a knowing villain.
We're not done yet. There's allegations he stole money from a fundraiser for a dying dog. And that he lied about his mother surviving.
Oh, I'm sorry. But this is what Trump supporters deserve, honestly.
So there's the dog fundraiser, and he lied about his mother surviving the 9/11 terror attacks.
No fucks, by the way. No fucks.
A report from the House Ethics Panel accused him of misusing campaign funds for personal benefits, including Botox and subscriptions on the OnlyFans website.
I want to know who his OnlyFans targets were. Like who is he throwing some cash on? Does he like foot content? Like what is George really interested in? You know, because for OnlyFans, he's got to be like, maybe he's just completely smitten with one person, or somebody who provides very like specialty type something. And that's where I'd be very curious. That's where I would lean with George.
Maybe he's lying about being gay. He's just buying tons of straight pornography.
That is the one thing I think he told the truth about.
So in August, Trump told Newsmax that he was open to intervening in George Santos's case, not because he thought George Santos was innocent, but because Santos was, quote, 100% for Trump and, quote, a solid partisan vote for the White House when he was on Capitol Hill.
That's an insane thing to like read in text. That's actually crazy. I don't know. It really is. It's like because he was 100% for Trump. Unbelievable.
Trump announced his pardon of George Santos in a Truth Social post. Would you like to read it?
Yeah, I'll do it. In for a penny, in for a pound, as they say. I say that all the time for some reason. I don't even know what the fuck it means. All right. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, in quotes. He actually writes the same way as Katherine Dee does, this guy, Trump. Just putting shit in quotes. He's just like, fuck it. Let's just throw some quotes on that thing. Yeah. George Santos was somewhat of a rogue, but there were many rogues throughout our country that aren't forced to serve 7 years in prison. I started to think about George when the subject of Democrat Senator Richard Da Nang Dick Blumenthal came up again. As everyone remembers, Da Nang stated for almost 20 years that he was a proud Vietnam veteran, having endured the worst of the war, watching the wounded and dead as he raced up the hills and down the valleys, blood streaming from his face. He was a great hero. He would leak to any and all who would listen. And then it happened. He was a complete and total fraud, in all caps. He never went to Vietnam. He never saw Vietnam. He never experienced the battles there or anywhere else. His war hero status and even minimal service in our military was totally and completely made up. This is far worse than what George Santos did. And at least Santos had the courage, conviction, intelligence to, all caps, always vote Republican.
Another insane thing to put in writing.
I guess we should be smart and also point out that this is like the clearest definition you have of like the friend-enemy distinction in fascism, right?
Yep.
Right? He's my friend, so the law doesn't apply to him. The law applies to you because you are not my friend, but it does not apply to him. Anyway, we talk about this stuff all the time. You guys already know. George has been in solitary confinement for long stretches of time and by all accounts has been horribly mistreated. I'd be very curious to see how he's mistreated in jail, by the way. You know what I mean? It's like there's no spindrift. There's no spindrift. There's no carbonated anything over here, George Santos.
They won't let me out to my Botox appointment. This is important.
I want to watch The Substance on DVD. Okay. Therefore, I just signed a commutation releasing George Santos from prison. All caps again. Immediately. Good luck, George. Have a great life. Exclamation point.
Have a great life, dude. I think I've been saying pardon. There is a legal difference, but like minimal.
We're good. I think everybody knows what you mean.
He's out of jail is the point.
He's out of jail.
Last thing about George Santos, I just want to point out is that one of the things, like you're a guilty pleasure sadist, really, who watches MSNBC every day.
Yes. I should feel more guilty about watching that than paying for a cameo from George Santos, actually.
Well, my hashtag resist lib indulgence is watching press conferences where Speaker of the House Mike Johnson is asked about like whatever stupid thing Trump did, and just seeing what he comes up with because it seems like he's getting lazier and lazier with it. It used to be like he used to like kind of try to argue for it, and now he's just like, what can you say? What can you say? And his line on the George Santos thing was very biblical. It was, Trump believes that everybody deserves redemption, and extended that grace to George Santos.